Hello, I am the official narrator. My job is not to look up grandma nicknames, because somehow I typed in Grafaiai, hit down to go to Grafaiai nicknames, but I didn't read it and it said grandma nicknames. We're looking at Grafaiai nicknames. Shroodle and Grafaiai nicknames. The first page of Google, we're going to give this bitch a scroll, we're going to read what the internet says, we're going to evaluate what the internet says, and then we're going to give recommendations on what we felt was the best at the very end. And also we'll highlight whatever suggestions you guys put in at the very end. And we're starting with Branker. 100 fans have voted on 40 plus items for best Grafaiai nicknames. I expect it all to be terrible. I want to go ahead and just show you real quick what comes up. Tagger kind of makes a little bit of sense, but I don't like it because it sounds like Tigger, but you're saying it wrong. Artsy brings in the idea that, you know, it's a Pokemon you could take a look at for reference sake. You know, if this video doesn't help you, Smeargle. Grafaiai is just Smeargle, but a bad boy. Poison Ivy we see a few times every now and again, but, you know, usually for grass-type Pokemon. Spray and Pray sounds like a better nickname for Skuntank. Graffiti is half of its fucking name. Banksy after the street artist. Who the hell is Banksy? Well, I assume he's a gorilla. Okay, I gave it a look. I'll be honest, I mean, you know what? I'm not going to shit on it. The name is fine because it stands out. You do a quick Google and you come up with him. And I'm actually a fan of street art graffiti. I think it looks cool. His is particularly interesting as well, so what the fuck? Yeah, that was kind of it. That phone call ruined my thought. Just a reminder, they are similar Pokemon. Just one's more hood than the other. But yeah, Bob Ross could work. I feel like you could interchange some names, honestly. You could try and make it like, take Bob Ross and maybe play it into a more street kind of way, if you can find a way to do that. I don't know. I'm also, not the spelling, but I'm also going to highlight Crayola, because, I don't know, it makes me think of the Alolan Muck episodes, but I suppose it makes sense with art, so for the sake of that one, we'll highlight it. Now, the only problem I have with MS Paint here is that it looks like Mrs. Paint, so you're going to have to find some way of making that stand out better, which the first thing that comes to mind is maybe capitalizing the letter S could make a difference. So, Jet Set Radio is one that I've been thinking about, but I'm not sure how to make that work. It just says breaking, and it's in Italian. Anyway, I haven't played the Jet Set Radio, Jet Set Future. There was a Jet Grind Radio. Jet Grind Radio and Jet Set, I think, are the same game. But yeah, that franchise has been on my mind, like, literally since this episode started. So if you can find a way to make that work, I think that would be a good idea, because the theming of that game is graffiti. And I guess I'll acknowledge Rafiki. I've seen it, like, it was on the last Reddit thread. And I mean, I guess it makes sense because monkey. Also, I guess makes sense because he used finger to paint the Simba. I don't think naming a black child after a monkey is a good choice for you, my guy. I just want to go ahead and call out iStarly TV for being a fucking twat who's addicted to cock, because he puts, this is what everyone should name their Grafaiai because it's fucking law and whatever he says goes. 14 minutes and 2 seconds of absolute cocksucking. I don't care. Fuck you. Alright, Grafaiai was a dud too, but unlike Mabostiff, I feel like this is a bigger travesty because this should be an easier one. The theming of this Pokemon is art. We have another Pokemon, Smeargle, that probably has a lot more and better suggestions. Just because it's graffiti does not mean that you can, like, you should completely steer away from that direction. Yes, you're trying to lean into graffiti or whatever, and that's fine, I get that. But at the core of it, it's still an art Pokemon. Comment suggestions we have. Graffiti prediction. Well, not quite. Muton, after the graffiti guy from American Wasteland. Muton is actually one I've been thinking about as well. It might be because I seen this comment because I had to fucking screen cap it. But I did do, like, I'm still working on my playthroughs of getting all 4 forms of Ogerpon, and I think it was the 3rd playthrough. It was the 2nd or 3rd. I used Grafaiai, it was the 3rd, to on the team because I was like, well, I don't have a level 50 Grafaiai yet, and I didn't want to nickname it. But Muton was very much the first thing that came to mind. But of course, because this is my job now, I have to wait to see what happens when I Google nicknames first before I decide on what the fuck I'm going to name anything. But Muton's kind of still up there as my go-to choice. Banksy, well, we saw that before. Sabine, Star Wars reference. What is a Sabine? Wait a minute, hold on. Never mind, that's not what I thought. I think it's Sebulba. I always love that they called it Wikipedia. I enjoy when fan sites have a wiki, but they give it a silly ass name. Like, that's great. Anyway, I don't know who the fuck she is or what she has to do with anything. I don't really feel like reading it, but that's there if you want that. Painter the Grafaiai. Alright, well, I feel like we can take that idea and maybe work on making that one better. Which is where more comments come in. For you, post them down below. Let us know what you'd use, what you'd recommend. Give a thumbs up to the ones you think are good. But you know what? I was also thinking while I was doing that, if you wanted to, you could totally, like, if you were one of those 3 people, you could post that comment again. And then people, if they liked yours, they could give it thumbs ups. That is a thing that can happen. You could post your Paintra again, and then see how many people like it, and see the thumbs ups. That's a possibility. Again, Smeargle episode, that one's going to be kind of my recommendation. I feel like there's another paint Pokemon, but I can't think of what.